I have Gretchen Richards here today, and I think she's going to be a really good referral for you. So, Gretchen, can you tell everybody what you do and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, thank you for having me today. I appreciate it. So I'm Gretchen Richards. I have a company called Dynamic Business Capabilities, and I help small growing companies with their business process and operations. Try to keep the process streamlined and done in a way that their customers are happy, their employees are happy, and people can actually enjoy running their business.
Can you give us an example of a process that you might help people set up?
So a lot of times it has to do with systems. So I can help people find a system if they're looking for one, help them do the analysis. And then once they purchase a system and decide on one, usually there's some process that has to be set up around that as far as how you're going to use it. A system is just a tool and you can use it well and you can use it poorly. And you've got to figure out how much information you're putting in the system and where you're putting it and making sure everybody's entering it consistently. Otherwise, the data you get out on the back end doesn't make any sense because everybody put it in differently. So if you're looking to automate, I can help you kind of work through the systems analysis of which one might be a good fit for you, and then build up the process and procedures around how to actually use it in a way. And then once you are using it and you have a base of data, then I help a lot of clients figure out what are their key performance metrics and what do they want to keep an eye on. And all of that kind of informs like their decision making. So they can start monitoring things and seeing trends or seeing which of their services is the most profitable. If they have money when they're looking to see where do I spend my marketing. Some service people offer multiple services and some are significantly more profitable than others. And so working through, I have one client that's house cleaning and carpet cleaning, and the carpet cleaning is more profitable, but the house cleaning is more consistent. And a lot of times the house cleaning feeds the carpet cleaning. So he still invests pretty heavily in marketing to the house cleaning because there's strategic reasons in doing so. And then he has some other things that he does on the carpet cleaning because it's more profitable. And then just looking long term too into where do they want to grow. So once your company is successful enough that you have some discretionary income, you've got to figure out how you're going to spend it, how you're going to reinvest it in your company.
What kind of systems or what kind of things should people be thinking about that they could systemize?
Anything that you do on a repeated basis can be systematized, and you can do it at greatly different levels, right? Systemizing it could be everything from just having a checklist. Let's say you do something once a year and it's not very complicated and you just need a checklist to remember everything because you forget in the year. And so you just need that written down. So systemizing could be as easy as that, or systemizing can be more complicated where you're getting into a bunch of, in this condition, do that, and in that condition, this is the best practice. But a lot of times, systemizing things comes down to the 80-20 rule, where you look at what's your kind of vanilla 80% case and you optimize the system for that. And then you look at what's the 20% kind of harder cases or things where there's more one-offs, and how do you add that into the process. But if you're, especially in the home services, systemizing how you do quotes, systemizing how you book appointments, systemizing when and how you review customers to see when you should raise their rates. If you've got reoccurring customers, like for the house cleaning, there's a process for like how far out do you book them and how do you make sure that that didn't end and you didn't realize it. There's ways for systemizing customer satisfaction responses. There's ways for systemizing doing coupon campaigns if you're doing like holiday specials. Pretty much anything you do in your business can be systemized, and that's a customer facing. Obviously, there's all the back end stuff. Payroll can be systemized, pulling the hours out of your system to figure out what the numbers are to submit to payroll can be systemized. Credit card processing can be systemized. There's anything that you do on a repetitive basis can be systemized so that you're not having to rethink how you do it every time you touch it.
Do you have some preferred programs that you like to work with or that work well for businesses?
The one that I would note that it's preferred, but one that most of my customers use is Housecall Pro. And it is pretty comprehensive. It does, you can ask for quotes from it, or it does all the scheduling of appointments, and you can do it pretty far out. It does some basic credit card processing and collection for you if you'd like, and some the different invoicing and tracking of financials. So it's pretty comprehensive. It does notifications to the customers of when they're on the way and everything. And I think it's a reasonable price point depending on which package you get.
What are some problems that some of the business owners have that they would want to make sure to contact you?
A lot of my customers will call because they want to expand, usually geographically, and they know they have enough operational issues or they're doing things so manually intensive that it's going to prevent them from growing their business and scaling, and that they really need to systemize before they duplicate it into other areas. So that's one area. And then I always have people look at their sales process because that's like the lifeline of your business, and to really monitor it and see where are you leaking sales or where are you leaving money on the table. So one of the customers that brought me in, they weren't responding quickly enough to some customers for coming and getting quotes.
Mm.
And so they were losing business. They were actually leaving money on the table. Sometimes they didn't get back to them at all. So tightening up some processes to make sure that that isn't happening can be a real big boost. And then a lot of times in the service industry, the owners are very passionate about their service and delivering it with really high quality. And sometimes they're not as passionate about worrying about the finances. They look and they're like, okay, I got money in the bank, or oh, my money in the bank is low. But it's very looking in the past as far as the history is, like how much money do I have now? And it's not so much looking forward and forecasting what they think their spend will be. And there's cost, right? If you've got vehicles, if you have equipment, and saying like when will managing the cash flow and managing when's a good time to invest in those things. I don't know a single house service provider that thinks that's what they're really good at. You know what I mean? They'll talk to you all day long about how great they can clean the carpet or how great they can fix an air conditioner or something like that. But the financial piece is usually something they kind of have to be almost dragged into. That's just usually not where they want to focus. And sometimes you just need someone to encourage you to do it and set it up for you so that you can do it easily and make sense.
All right, I think that your services will benefit mm, basically all of our students. Okay, let's just be real. Okay, you have to be honest. If you're not watching your finances and you can't plan for the future, then do you own a business or do you own a job? Any closing thoughts?
Just, I think home services is such an interesting space to be in right now. I think they're the jobs that are not going to be as impacted by AI replacement, if you will. I think there are some opportunities to leverage AI in all industries that could be like looked at, but I think it's a very good place to be right now. And I think it's really set for growth, and that the people who are really taking it seriously as a business and setting themselves up can really do very well in the next few years. I think it's a good set of industries to be in.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that robots are going to take over.
No time soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
time soon. And it's a need that people are just going to
Mhm.
have for a while.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to have Gretchen's information below. Please reach out to her and look at how she can help you. All right. Thank you, Gretchen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.